The Master's Gambit. Heyman's crown jewel betrayal and the rebirth of a beast. The very fabric of WWE reality was torn asunder. In a single, chilling moment, a handshake cloaked in deception, a smirk that betrayed 1,000 unspoken calculations, the foundation of loyalty and ambition upon which the WWE Universe stands was obliterated. This was not merely a plot twist, it was an execution. A meticulously planned, cold-blooded severing of an alliance that we were all convinced was the future. The beast, BrockLesnar, has returned, not as a mere force of nature, but as a refined instrument of destruction, and his architect, the unparalleled strategist Paul Heyman, has executed his most brilliant and ruthless maneuver to date. Tonight was the rebirth of absolute, unadulterated domination. It was the culmination of a story arc woven with such subtle genius that its final, explosive payoff felt both shockingly brutal and terrifyingly inevitable. Seth, the visionary, Rollins, a man who prides himself on seeing the chessboard 3 moves ahead, was checkmated in the most public and humiliating fashion imaginable. He never saw the blade until it was buried in his back, wielded by the very hand he trusted to guide his empire. But this narrative did not begin under the blazing lights of Saudi Arabia. The threads of this betrayal were spun months in the shadows, in fleeting glances, carefully chosen words, and strategic silences. Welcome back to Pink Sport, where we do more than just react to the chaos, we deconstruct it. We dissect the psychology, the long-term storytelling, and the strategic machinations that transform WWE from a sport into a living, breathing epic. Tonight, we embark on a deep dive into the crown jewel betrayal that will forever be etched in history. The moment Paul Heyman sacrificed Seth Rollins on the altar of power and realigned with his true destructive soulmate, Brock Lesnar. The anatomy of a betrayal. Understanding the Heyman doctrine. To comprehend the seismic impact of this turn, one must first decipher the complex code of loyalty, as defined by Paul Heyman. His career is a masterclass in a very specific, amoral philosophy. Loyalty is not to people, but to power. It is not driven by emotion, but by the cold, hard calculus of control and influence. From orchestrating Brock Lesnar's path of unprecedented destruction to meticulously building and manipulating the tribal empire of Roman Reigns, Heyman's allegiance has always been a transaction, his genius in exchange for a seat at the right hand of the most dominant force available. His alliance with Seth Rollins and The Vision was initially hailed as a new chapter. It presented Heyman as the philosophical engine for a new era, a master tactician for a faction built on ideology. But beneath the surface of this promising union, the foundation was already cracking. Every public appearance contained a micro-expression of doubt. Every interview held a carefully measured tone that lacked genuine fervor. Heyman's loyalty to Rollins was conditional, contingent upon perpetual victory and unwavering control. The moment Rollins displayed frustration, questioned a strategy, or showed a flicker of instability, the covenant was broken in Heyman's eyes. A master of fear and psychological warfare, Heyman cannot abide weakness. He doesn't repair fracturing alliances, he abandons them for a more stable source of power. The foreshadowing. Breadcrumbs of an impending storm. The brilliance of this storyline lies in its subtlety. For months, the WWE creative team, in concert with Heyman's masterful performance, laid a trail of breadcrumbs for the discerning fan. Analysts from Wrestle Talk, Sportskeeda, and Ringside News noted the telltale signs: Heyman's conspicuous absence from key backstage segments with The Vision, his increasingly cold and analytical tone when discussing Rollins' successes, and the way his celebrations felt more like polite applause than triumphant roars. These weren't oversights, they were clues. They were the quiet ticking of a narrative time bomb. The speculation about a potential Lesnar return wasn't just fan fantasy, it was a ghost haunting the narrative, a specter that Heyman himself would subtly invoke. The stage was being set not for a surprise, but for an inevitability, a moment so logically sound that its shock value was magnified tenfold by its perfect narrative construction. Crown jewel. The cinematic execution. The scene in Riyadh was dripping with dramatic irony. The Vision entered, projecting a facade of unity, but the camera lenses seemed to linger on Paul Heyman, isolating him in the frame, hinting at the schism about to rupture. As Cody Rhodes made his entrance, the arena crackled with the energy of a looming clash of legacies. The match itself was a masterpiece of misdirection, Rollins controlling tempo, Rhodes fighting from beneath, and the faction's enforcers looming on the periphery. Then came the pivot point, a moment frozen in time. With victory within Rollins' grasp, Heyman intervened. It wasn't a dramatic shout or a violent act. It was a subtle, calculated hesitation, a pause that spoke volumes. That single moment of withheld support was all Cody Rhodes needed to capitalize, rocking Rollins and sending the crowd into a frenzy. In that instant, the mask fell. Heyman's eyes, captured in a haunting close-up, revealed a chilling emptiness. The loyalty was gone, extinguished in a heartbeat. And then, the earth shook. BrockLesnar's music hit, and the final piece of the puzzle slammed into place. The image of Heyman releasing Rollins' tie, letting it slip from his fingers as he turned his back, was a symbolic killing blow. He didn't just walk away. He ascended the ramp alongside his restored engine of destruction, leaving the shattered pieces of the Vision and Seth Rollins' psyche in the ring. This was cinematic storytelling at its finest, a betrayal not of passion, but of pure, unadulterated strategy. The aftermath and the New World Order. Heyman's gambit is not merely a personal betrayal, it is a seismic redistribution of power within WWE. The Bloodline, already fractured, now faces a revitalized, Heyman-empowered Lesnar. The Vision lies in ruins, its members, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, cast adrift, their loyalties and futures suddenly uncertain. Seth Rollins is left not just defeated, but psychologically dismantled, his vision exposed as a fragile illusion. The fallout is a storyteller's playground. We are now set on a collision course for Rollins versus Lesnar 2, a feud now supercharged with the venom of personal betrayal. Will Breakker and Reed seek vengeance, or will they, in a chilling twist, see Heyman's pragmatism as the true path to power and align with the new regime? And looming over it all is the silent, watchful eye of Roman Reigns. The tribal chief cannot ignore this power shift. Heyman's return to Lesnar is a direct challenge to his dominion, setting the stage for a potential epic, multi-layered war for the soul of WWE. Paul Heyman has once again proven himself the ultimate puppet master. His betrayal was not an act of impulse, but the final, masterful move in a long game of chess. He hasn't just changed the players, he has rewritten the rules of the game itself. The Beast is back, his most cunning advocate by his side, and the entire landscape of WWE is now their hunting ground. What did you think of this deep dive into one of WWE's most shocking moments? Where do you see the story going from here? Will Seth Rollins seek vengeance, or will he crumble? And how will Roman Reigns respond to this new, terrifying alliance? Share your theories in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our breakdown of the ever-evolving drama in the world of sports entertainment.